The first time LaMelo Ball had ever played professional basketball, guess what? 0 points.
LaMelo's a wild guy like LeVar.
He was a basket hanger and a ball hog.
Doesn't guard anyone. The most hated high school athlete of all time.
The primary subject here is LaMelo Ball. The NBA scouts are projecting him as potentially the #1 overall pick.
What's up, guys? Mike here, and obviously today we are talking about LaMelo Ball and his evolution as a basketball player. And honestly, there isn't much need for a face cam here, so let's just jump into the video. I'm going to start this video off with a little bit of a controversial statement, but I think what I'm about to say is true. Because I wanted to start off by saying something like, we should have seen this coming. Or, while no one was watching, LaMelo Ball has become a potential NBA All-Star. The thing is though, those statements are just not true, at least if you look beyond the mainstream sports media. Sure, while a bunch of sports talk shows had, up until recently, dismissed LaMelo as a big-time NBA prospect because he shoots too much and doesn't play defense, I truly think that most of the people watching this video, the ones that are a part of NBA Twitter and NBA Reddit and just the whole NBA internet community in general, I feel like a lot of you guys have always believed in LaMelo Ball. Now, of course, LaMelo has had plenty of haters on the internet. I mean, who doesn't? But I've seen countless tweets and comments that fully support Melo and believe that despite what the people on television have been saying, despite what his dad has done, despite Lonzo's less than stellar start in the NBA so far, LaMelo himself will be an NBA star in the near future because of his overwhelming talent. I know personally, I have said time and time again, LaMelo skipped a grade and started on the #1 high school basketball team in America when Lonzo was a senior. Since that season, I have always believed that LaMelo Ball is going to be a special talent, and now, finally, it appears that the NBA has come around to the same line of thinking. Because after 27 NBA scouts watched LaMelo absolutely dominate the Australian Basketball League's preseason, they all came back and collectively decided one thing. LaMelo Ball was the real deal, and going even further here, LaMelo is a serious contender to be the #1 pick in the 2020 draft. I mean, just listen to what has recently been said after all of these scouts came back from Australia. One scout said, he reminds me of Luka Doncic, just in terms of his size, his feel, and his creativity. Meanwhile, an executive said, if he keeps this up, I don't see any way he isn't in the conversation for the #1 overall pick. He completely changed my perception of the type of prospect he is, and all of the background info I gathered here from his coaches and teammates paint a very different story of what I thought about him off the court as well. And to finish off here, another scout gave very high praise with, quote, he plays with incredible pace. He's never sped up, he's never rattled by anything that's thrown at him. You're expecting something magical to happen every time he has the ball. He sees everything. He can make every pass with either hand off a live dribble. His style of play is tailor-made for the NBA game, especially if you surround him with shooting and better finishers. Obviously, those are some incredible statements to hear if you are a fan of LaMelo's game, and those quotes are also very insightful as to the type of prospect LaMelo has become. Known by many as a me-first ball hog, Melo has developed into an elite level playmaker and has also established that his clear goal is to be the best basketball player in the world. He has also established that he is willing to put in the work to make that happen. That is what that one executive meant by his coaches and teammates tell a very different story than what the perception around LaMelo is. A lot of people thought and still think that Melo would be a locker room problem in the NBA, but that could not be further from the truth. LaMelo's teammates love him, his coaches love him, and his trainers, who he works out with every day because the man has a relentless work ethic, love him. And with all of that said, let's go even further into the quotes here, because while hearing from scouts and executives is great, I also think it's very important to get current NBA players' perspectives here. So, after playing against Trae Young in private games at Rico Hines, Trae tweeted out that LaMelo was next up, and then later, when asked by TMZ Sports if LaMelo could be the #1 pick in the draft, Trae told them, quote, possibly, yeah, for sure. He'll be ready by the time he gets to the league. He'll be good in the league. If he's #1, #2, #3, regardless, he'll be a good player. And looking at a more veteran player's perspective here, CJ McCollum has said, seeing his brother in the league, being exposed to NBA lifestyle, NBA workouts so early on has benefited him. and he's 6'7" now. He's legit. No offense to his brother, I think he's better than Zoe, and Zoe's a good NBA player. I think his dad was right, and I wouldn't say this very often about things the dad says, but in this case, I think he's going to be the best out of all the three brothers, and I think his repertoire in offensive versatility is going to translate to the NBA right now, and I think he's going to have a long career in the NBA. Again, awesome quotes to hear, especially from near all-star level guards. I mean, Trae Young felt the need to tweet out that LaMelo was up next right after playing against him. That means something. And CJ McCollum is one of the most well-spoken and most intelligent players in the league right now, so to hear those words come out of his mouth, to hear him say that he thinks LaMelo is better than Lonzo, his older brother who just so happens to have 2 years of NBA experience right now, yeah, I think these quotes mean a lot. And before we continue, guys, I do want to say thank you to Mac Weldon for sponsoring today's video. Now, at this point, Mac Weldon is basically a friend of this channel because this is not our first Mac Weldon ad. In fact, I have been just ordering Mac Weldon clothes in general since they first sponsored one of my videos. The reason for that is I'm just being completely honest here. Their clothing is great. The goal that Mac Weldon has is to have smart designs, premium fabrics, and simple shop. I agree with all of those statements. Personally, I love their shirts, I love their shorts, and now that it's winter, you know, they hooked me up and I was able to get some winter clothes. As you're seeing right now, you see I'm rocking the long sleeve shirt here, and I've got the sweatpants on, and if you look even closer, you might notice that I've got some cashmere gloves, boys. Cashmere gloves! Who would have known? Never thought it would be me. So trust me, guys, I'm telling you, their website is very easy to use. It is really simple shopping, and the clothes are just so comfortable and so affordable. I mean, you are really getting a great quality clothing for an affordable price. It is just that simple. And on top of all of that, the material they use for their shirts and underwear actually eliminates odors, so you know, if you're having a little bit of a rough day, Mac Weldon's got you. With all that said, guys, I love Mac Weldon. I highly suggest going to macweldon.com and shopping and getting some clothes. If you do, Mac Weldon has hooked it up. They are giving you 20% off your first order if you use the promo code Korzemba, just simply Korzemba at checkout. Also, if you look down below, the link is going to be in the description of this video, so head on over to the link. Again, I love Mac Weldon. I think you will too. And for now, let's continue with the video. It is at this point in the video, though, that we're going to stop looking at quotes and start looking at why everyone has become so excited about LaMelo's game. So just starting off here, let's talk about the fact that the man was just born to play the game of basketball. That is demonstrated by his on-court basketball IQ, and the thing is, though, while the basketball IQ has always been there, LaMelo has continued to grind and work his ass off, and because of that, it is now obvious that LaMelo's on-court IQ has risen to an absolutely elite level. This was certainly a huge talking point among the NBA scouts and executives who have watched Melo play in the Australian League so far, and has somehow become something that scouts have seemed shocked over. The thing is, though, again, to me, it just feels like because of the perceived baggage that high-level NBA executives have put on LaMelo already, it's as if they had written him off and didn't even watch him play at Spire, where this high basketball IQ was fully on display. And again, that is just straight up ridiculous, as LaMelo is a legitimate top prospect for the 2020 draft. Besides that, though, looking at LaMelo's actual game here, when you combine this elite basketball IQ with, of course, his knockdown jumper and incredible playmaking ability, with the simple fact that LaMelo has grown a lot, you can suddenly see why the short 13-year-old that a lot of scouts had written off is now a legitimate 6'6" or 6'7" offensive force at the age of 18. Just watching these clips here, you can clearly see that this change in height has made a massive difference in LaMelo's game. He is now able to rise up over legitimate high-tier defenders and drain his signature jump shot. He can also use his height on drives to finish at the rim over centers who have NBA similar height. Then, diving even deeper here, it is also very obvious that Melo has added a good amount of strength to his frame as well. I mean, of course, the man is not jacked. However, he has been working with elite level strength and conditioning coaches, and this shows. Again, watching clips here, when Melo takes the ball to the basket, now we can see that a different way to score has opened up for him. Yes, of course, LaMelo is still still more than capable of draining floaters, as his touch around the basket is great. I mean, come on, look at these floaters. It might even be possible that LaMelo is going to take the floater game in general to the next level. That's besides the point here, though. When I'm talking about strength, I'm talking about the fact that now when Melo drives to the basket, when he is met by defenders at the rim, he is able to use his body and still finish. That is actually something that his brother Lonzo has had a problem with in his first 2 seasons in the NBA, and to me, that really means a lot when we look at LaMelo's mindset here. Because we have to remember, LaMelo has obviously watched Lonzo in his first 2 seasons very, very closely. When you take that into consideration, and when you also remember the fact that LaMelo wants to be the greatest basketball player in the world, I think it becomes apparent that Melo has been studying Lonzo's game, has been studying where Lonzo has struggled since joining the NBA, and has been taking his own personal steps so that these same struggles do not happen to him. Again, he has been working with elite strength and conditioning coaches, and he's 18 years old. If he's willing to put in that kind of work, he is going to develop the muscle and strength needed to play at the highest level. And as I've said already, the fact that we can noticeably see that he is able to drive to the basket with a lot more strength says a lot. And so at this point in the video, let's end things with the actual scouting report Jonathan Givney gave LaMelo when he moved Melo up to the projected number 3 pick in the 2020 draft. So from Givney's article, he said Ball looked like an NBL MVP candidate. He put up an impressive 19 point, 13 rebound, 7 assist performance against the defending champion Perth Wildcats, reigning defensive player of the year. And I'm cutting in here to say that he's actually been a 6-time defensive player of the year in this league. Continuing with Givney now, Damian Martin tried in vain to slow Ball, but was completely unable to phase the 18-year-old. Yes, Givney was so impressed that he stated LaMelo could win the league's MVP, and keep in mind, this is a league full of grown men and former NBA players such as LaMelo's teammate Aaron Brooks, aka a man who once averaged 19.6 points per game in an NBA season. And so looking at all of that, guys, I just have to say again, I am a LaMelo Ball believer. I have always believed in LaMelo Ball. We could go back in videos, you could go try to clip things. You will only see me say positive things about LaMelo. I've always believed in this man, and I think it's really cool that the NBA is coming around on him, and I think it's also really, really cool that LaMelo himself has been grinding. Like I said, I really do think he's been looking at Lonzo's struggles. He's looked at what Lonzo has faced in the league and has begun to take the steps necessary so that when he himself, and by that I mean LaMelo, joins the NBA, he is not going to face the same struggles. I think he's going to be putting up baskets right away. I'm so hyped to watch some Australian basketball this season. I am so hyped to see what LaMelo can do. I am very excited to see where he goes in the draft. I just think all of this is awesome, and with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, make sure to turn on notifications. The NBA season is almost here, guys. We are almost there. I can't wait. That is when the content is going to be rolling, because you know there's going to be a ton of things to actually talk about. It's going to be awesome. If you are already subscribed, or if you're just watching this video in general, thank you for supporting. Thank you for being here. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, and cue that music. By the way, if you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are going to love watching. All you have to do is just click on either one of them on the screen right here. And other than that, guys, again, have a great day and peace.